save your life. Never be a crash test dummy, cause it wouldn't be funny if you die. Realize it's the law, so buckle up tight, or you just might be needing flight for life. Keep your eyes on the road when you cruise control, cause the other guy just might lose the hold of the steering wheel. Peel rubber, now we got an accident. Grab the belt and fasten it. Stay in the game, buckle up and fasten it.
You know, every accident I've been in, somebody's hit me, and I had my seatbelt on. You know, I came, you know, that close from my head going through the windshield, and my seatbelt took hold and locked up, and I walked away with a sore shoulder, as opposed to, you know, to a cracked skull. So I'll take that trade any day.
The other guy is always out there, and there's no telling what he's gonna do, so you have to prepare yourself for any situation that could come for yourself and him.
Never saw the woman. Like I said, she was in the center lane. There were cars on each side of her. I looked to my right, but I was more concerned after that, making sure that there was no oncoming traffic from my left. She came through, I never saw her. I was in the center of the street. A woman came through and hit me.
Stay in the game, buckle up and fasten it. Seatbelt save lives, it's evident. Realize it's the law and it's common sense. Death doesn't have to be the consequence.
About to scoop up my homie at 4:45. I asked him earlier, was he down to ride? Got my system bumping, both bobbing our heads, straight dipping, and we tripping off the joke he said. It was definitely hot and the heat was felt. Both thinking that we was too cool to wear seat belts. To anyone who has ears, let them check the lyrics. Didn't wear my seat belt, and now you hearing my spirit.
Stay in the game, buckle up and fasten it. Seat belt save lives.
I don't see anything cool in dying, especially dying before your time. 16, 18, 25, that's before your time. So if you're gonna, you know, if you're gonna live a long life, you gotta be safe. And if the information is out there, if you don't take it, if you die, it's because of a lack of knowledge.
Is it cool to be in a casket? Is it cool to injure yourself to where you're paralyzed? Is it cool for your family to go through all the stress and pain that they're gonna go through, not just of having an accident, for the rest of their lives? While they're here, they're gonna suffer pain. I mean, the person that's killed or hurt in a car crash probably won't feel it. You know, they might be taken off the world, but the pain, that's the after effect, is definitely there. I would advise everybody to wear a seatbelt.
And if you can wear a seatbelt, you're lucky enough to be driving anyway, you shouldn't worry about what other people are thinking anyway. They're probably catching the bus.
Stay in the game, buckle up and fasten it. Seatbelt save lives, it's evident. Realize it's the law and it's common sense. Death doesn't have to be the consequence. Your nightmares can be reality. Rolling without a seatbelt is hazardous to your health. Check yourself, you only got one life, but one crash could be all it takes to straight seal your fate. And if you don't die, what if you get paralyzed from your neck or your waist, glass shattered in your face, when all you had to do was follow safety rules? Keep your eyes focused on the road as you cruise. Stay in the game, buckle up and fasten it. Seatbelt save lives.
If you don't wear your seatbelt, you may not die. You might be paralyzed for life. Then you're dependent on someone else to take care of you. Then you can't get a job. It's hard to get a job unless you're very experienced and have college education and where you just use your fingers. And then some people may not be able to use them.
You know, living through a severe accident as opposed to dying, and I guess dying would be the easy way out, at least for yourself. Living, I couldn't imagine losing my physical attributes, you know, just everyday stuff, just like breathing. I get up and walk normally, no pain or whatever, walk straight and can get to where I want to go. When my mind tells me I want to go somewhere, I probably would go crazy.
If you're used to walking, I don't see anyone that's used to walking want to be in a wheelchair. Anyone that's used to, you know, just doing whatever, you know, laid up in a chair, laid up in a bed somewhere and can't move. And that's one thing you really got to think about. Do I want to stay healthy? You know, you might not die. You know, you might be blessed enough to get out of it alive, but then you got to think of the consequences. Will I walk out of it? You know, will I, you know, be able to move my arms, my legs, my feet? Will I be able to feel? Will I be able to do the normal things that I usually do?
Stay in the game, buckle up and fasten it. Seatbelt save lives, it's evident. Realize it's the law and it's common sense. Death doesn't have to be the consequence.
Straight up on the real A lot of parents don't practice what they preach, telling their kids to buckle up as soon as they get up in the back seat, not knowing that they headed for trouble, while the parents remain in the front, both unbuckled. Man, we only have one life to live, which means we only have one life to give. You know that any crash can damage the flesh. You need to stay in the game and never settle for less.
Stay in the game, buckle up, and fasten it. Seatbelt, save lives.
Children learn from example. You can tell a child all you want to. Buckle up, buckle up, buckle up. But if they don't see mommy and daddy buckling up, you know, it's not going to get into their system. It's not going to get into their mind. It's like, well, if mommy don't do it, you know, I don't have to do it. Daddy don't do it, you know, why should I do it? You can tell them all you want, but children learn from example. And you also have to keep in mind, who do you want to raise your kids? You know, you can buckle your kids up, strap them in real good. You don't do it. Something happens, they'll live, hopefully. You know, depending on the accident, they'll live. But, you know, the chance of you coming out of it alive because you're not strapped in is very low.
I feel like it's the parent's responsibility to make sure that the child is secured in the car safely, because the child didn't ask to come here, the child didn't ask to be born to you, and the child didn't ask to go wherever you are, whatever trip, whatever journey you're going on that day. And you know, the child don't know about car safety. The grown-up is supposed to. If you're grown enough to stick a key in the ignition and start that car up and go somewhere, you should be grown enough to take responsibility for what you do in that car.
That I would do for myself for my safety, I do for her safety. It's no different, and it shouldn't be any different for anybody.
Stay in the game, buckle up, and fasten it. Seatbelt, save lives, it's evident. Realize it's the law when it's common sense. Death doesn't have to be the consequence. Cruising without a seatbelt, it's just a minor factor, so you wanna believe. But face reality, you got a better chance dying in an automobile than getting killed with a loaded 9mm, or even the tragedy of catching HIV is lower than losing control on the road, full speed, running into trees. Indeed, it's serious business. Wear your seatbelts for your physical fitness. Stay in the game, buckle up, and fasten it. Seatbelts.
This is serious business. Driving is serious business, and I think everybody needs to take it a little bit more serious, you know, than what it actually is, because you can actually, more people get killed in accidents than drive-by shootings or anything. So, I mean, right now at this point. So, I mean, it's definitely something we need to take more serious, because it's definitely out there and it does happen.
People seem to think, well, hey, I'm a good driver, I'm attentive, I know what's going on. No, you don't know what's going on with that other driver. You really don't. As far as drive-bys go, sure, you hear about it on the news, but we don't hear about every accident that occurs. We really don't.
I always wear my seatbelt because I don't want to be another victim. I don't want to be in the newspaper or on the news like that.
Stay in the game, buckle up, and fasten it. Seatbelt, save lives, it's evident. Realize it's the law when it's common sense. Death doesn't have to be the consequence.
February 5th, 1995. At 3:10 p.m., my mother lost her life. Police contacted my brothers who was at the crib, and if she had wore a seatbelt, they say she might have lived. My family's still suffering, and it's a shame. He ran a red light and caused her so much pain, and if she was still here, she would call my name and tell me to buckle up so I could stay in the game.
Stay in the game, buckle up, and fasten it. Seatbelt, save lives.
I was informed by my brothers because she was on her way to pick me up from work. And they came and told me, well, I just lost my mother. When you lose somebody in a car crash, it's like you can have your good days, but you do have to. It's times when you're alone. It's times when you're with your friends that you might not focus on things that you normally would focus on and enjoy. It's like you're taking a percentage of your life is like going when you lose someone in your family. To those who have their parents, make sure they buckle up. To those who have a driver's license, buckle up. Drive safe and avoid that hassle and that problem and enjoy your life. If you don't buckle up and you're not safe and you're not watching the other person on the road, if you don't take driving serious, period, you know, it could be the end of your life next. Most definitely. Your life can be next.
Stay in the game, buckle up and fasten it. Seatbelt save lives, it's evident. Realize it's the law when it's common sense. Death doesn't have to be the consequence. Stay in the game, buckle up and fasten it. Seatbelt save lives, it's evident. Realize it's the law when it's common sense. Death doesn't have to be the consequence.